talk with me. As men, we don't want counseling. Amen. We don't want therapy. We feel that we're too big for that. But I sat with my doctor for a lot of weeks, and he explained to me, he said, your people, your parishioners, your lay members is going to love you to death. Yeah, seriously. They're going to love you to death. Now you have to understand how profound that was to me, because I just had my chest wide, open up, triple bypass. I'm laying up there with tubes, I'm just completely losing weight, I'm really sick, and I had to really start assessing certain things in my life of what I was going to do, what I wasn't going to do, how was I going to manage certain things. And so I learned this being spiritually selfish was for the preservation of my own life, that I can also not only preserve myself, but I can help those that surround me. And so it's been the key to me being able to keep going, to be able to tell a person no without explaining. Just no. And that's how they look at me, just like you looking at me right now. No. And that's being spiritually selfish. Why will I explain to you for you to come back with something else that I got to explain all over again? I'm just going to tell you no. That's being spiritually selfish, because I'm preserving myself for a reason. My health, my sanity. I'm preserving myself for the people that I'm in their lives, the members of McDonald Avenue, Gail, my sons, where I work, all of that. So that's what it means to be spiritually selfish. It's not being indignant. It's not being rude. It's not being disrespectful. It's just that I'm just going to tell you no. And that's it, in a way, that I can deal with what I need to deal with. I don't want to talk to you right now. I'll make an appointment. So that's what I mean by being spiritually selfish. And that's being able to first and foremost reinvent the wheel that makes you turn. That's being able to look inside of you to understand who you are and being able to live with yourself. If something takes place with my son, I'll deal with it tomorrow. I'm not going to get up out of my bed for something that you have done. I got to go to work in the morning where I done made you happy, but I got to get up in the morning and go to work. No, I'll wait until tomorrow. No. They're still perplexing you a little bit, I see, but that's all right. But it's being really spiritually unselfish, all of us, because if we are raised in an environment where we've learned, we have become conducive and products of our own environment, and we are paying takers. Now, a paying giver, y'all know all of the paying givers. They're going to tell you off. They're going to tell you. They're going to tell you not only no, they're going to explain to you. So you're going to get away from them quickly, because they're not going to take it. They're not going to put up with it, because they've been taking it all their lives. So they refuse any longer to take it. So they're paying givers. They're going to tell you off and not even think nothing about it. They can eat, sleep, go to work, come home, and won't even be bothered by it. Seriously. So there has to be a balance. That's what I'm trying to say. To be spiritually selfish, you have to have a balance in your life. Because if you don't, you're going to find yourself physically ill. You're going to be angry. You're going to be walking around angry. You're going to walk around upset. You're going to be frustrated. And you're not going to be user-friendly at all. So learn how to be spiritually selfish by taking care of yourself. Jesus And when I say spiritually selfish, I know selfish is always used in a negative connotation, you know. But look at Jesus. Just look at his pedestrian ministry. You will see periodically peppered in the four Gospels, you'll see him getting away by himself. That was selfish. You know, you'll see him selecting 3 or 1 to go with him. The scripture says just a little bit further. That's selfish. You know, he was partial. He was impartial in the sense where he knew who could and he knew who could not. That's selfish. He prioritized who he allowed in his life. He selected who could and who couldn't. That's being selfish, all right? So if the Lord was able to do so and do that, then surely it's a lesson for us to learn, you know, to take care of yourself. Because what good are you sick, can't do nothing, stressed out, angry, pissed off at everybody around you? I mean, what good are you? Just think about it. You're no good. You know, so learn these particular dynamics that's for your life, you know, for the quality of life that you need to have to coexist among those who are literally, that comes into your life to just drain you. That they dip into your life, they're there for a moment, and then they pull out everything you got. Then here comes somebody else, and they doing the same thing, and they dip into your and pull out, and then here comes somebody else. Before you know it, you're just dry, and you don't have anything left for yourself. No, that's being wise. You might be passive by letting them come into your life. Well, no, that's not being smart, because that's not being smart. You cannot allow everybody and anybody, you know, to have just a rite of passage into your life to just drain you of your spirit. You just can't do that. You know, I told you all last night, I don't even do that with Gail with certain things. She has 15 words to explain to me what happened at the grocery store. Because all I want to see is those greens boiling in the pot. So I give her, and hey, we laugh about it. You got 15 words, sweetheart. You know, that's all you got. I don't want to hear that. You know, and then sometimes I listen. You know, sometimes. Because I don't want to go to the rhetoric of being, you know, hypocritical. Yeah, hush, child. What? Really? No, I don't want to do that. 15 words. You know, that's just with certain things. You know, but you can't have any and everybody coming into your life and just draining you. You can't live that way. It's not wise. It's not sensible. That's a great question. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Someone who is an enabler is a pain taker, but in reality is also a pain giver.
That is true. That is true. They've actually, it's what I'm actually going, that's a good segue to go into what I was going to talk about. No, that's great. You know, they've actually compromised their life. And that is absolutely probably the worst kind of feeling to live with, when you've compromised and you don't have any control, because literally you don't have any control at all. And with that said, I want you all on your notepads, I want you to write down the 3 chairs, and I appreciate my brother leading me into that. There are 3 chairs that we practically sit in or we occupy all the time. 3 chairs. One of those chairs is the chair of compromise. The other chair is the chair, the first chair is the chair of commitment. The second chair is the chair of compromise. And the third chair is the chair of conflict. You know, when David wrote the Psalms, he said, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, nor standeth, walking. Blessed is the man who walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of the sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful." those what is called transitive verbs. It means activity. Every day that you and I get up, we sit in one of three chairs. Sometimes those chairs are forced upon us. Where you know you have to be committed to certain things. And if you're not committed the way that you should be committed in the right way, oftentimes we compromise. And whenever we compromise, be it in whatever regards that may be, we become a conflict. And this is what we're talking about when you're talking about ready to rumble. You cannot fight a good fight until you understand yourself and what you're fighting. Now, all of us know Floyd Mayweather's fight game. Whether you like him or dislike him, you got to admire his skill of his game. Whether you like him or don't like him, that's neither here or there as far as he is concerned. He understands himself. That's what makes him so masterful, is the fact he understands himself. And he has in his masterful way mastered the art of defense. You can't hit him the way that you really want to hit him. And no matter what you say about him, he has mastered within his own self his mechanism to master the master of defense. Now, don't get me wrong, he can't hit you. But what he understands is that I know I can hit, but what I don't want to do is get hit. So, in his own mind, he has committed himself. That first chair, I want you to think about this in your own life. In his own mind, he has committed himself to, number one, master what he has crafted in his boxing skills. And it's not like it's a mystery. It's not no mystery to how he fights. To no one. And everyone that has fought him understands how he fights. But how do you fight someone that have mastered knowing what he's doing and knowing, listen to this, knowing also that you know what he's going to do? How do you fight someone like that? That already know that you know, that he knows, you know how he's going to fight. His first line of defense is commitment. You know why that's important? Because it's going to basically necessitate how, what, and all the things that he do. Have you ever looked at his regiment of his workout? Now, they show you a little bit here and there, but it is tenacious. And all of that is because he's adding to his repertoire of how he's committed to fighting his fight. He is committed to that. And nobody, not his daddy, not his uncle, not anything. The boy goes out and hang out, but he don't drink. Don't smoke. Don't do nothing. But he's in the midst of all of that. You know why he's able to do that now? We're not talking about spirituality. We're just talking about someone who understands himself, that have mastered what's going to keep him on the fight, in the fight game, at the top of his game. It starts with him being committed. Now, the haters out there gonna hate, but he don't care because he's committed to what he is doing. In your life, in my life, that's where it starts. Being committed to your fight game or being able to rumble. with the devil. It's being committed to that. The devil cannot touch you. The devil cannot bother you as long as you stay in that word of God. That word will shield your life, vanguard your life, teach you how to walk, and God will keep you and preserve you. And whenever you're going through something, whatever trial, whatever tribulation, whatever temptation, God will keep you because you're already committed to the fight game that you're going to fight. You got to be repetitious. You got to be habitual in reading that word in your prayer life. You got to be committed to everything that's going to make you a master at what you do. If you do that for yourself, watch the level of the congregation where you attend. And people will gravitate to you. I was telling the brother earlier, I said one of the things that we fail to realize as God's servants, God's tools, and God's vessels is that God has us in an assignment. Why does he have us in an assignment? Every assignment comes with an appointment. You may want to write this down. Every assignment, God does not simply assign you up for something as a child of God and not appoint certain things to come into your life. He has assigned you and signed you up as a child of God that he can send those things or situations or people into your life that you can serve out his extended hand from heaven as a divine appointment for those things that he has coming into your life. You have an appointment, but many of us have missed our appointments because we don't understand our assignment. I clearly, at this junction, understand my assignment. I understand my assignment. And it's not about making a name for myself. It's not about keeping my secrets in the closet. It's not about covering up some things. It's not about making you feel good. It's about ministering to you in such a way that you will understand that just like I have an assignment, you have an assignment. Just like I have an appointment that God is working to send into my life, God has an appointment for your life. That's being ready to rumble. And so I have a cause. Why? Because I understand the commitment. Understand the commitment. Now, when I have a commitment, it's going to keep me from sitting in this chair of compromise. Because I can't no way, no how allow anything to compromise my commitment. So Tyson, that's when you spend, I don't even have to ask you, that's where I know that you spend a certain amount of time studying for a reason, reading for a reason, praying for a reason, because you don't want anything to upset your commitment to compromise what you're all about. You realize that Jesus wouldn't allow anyone to compromise his commitment. He had to tell those closest to him, Peter. He told him, "Get thee behind me, Satan." He wouldn't allow anyone, nobody, to upset his commitment level, to compromise what he was all about. And you see in the premises of the text of when Jesus is basically going through ministering his pedestrian ministry, you'll see all kinds of things thrown at him. You know, you remember when Lazarus died? And instead of going right back when he heard it, he stayed there 4 days. He was on assignment. The assignment was, let Lazarus be truly dead, that it won't be said that he was just in a conscious state. He said, no, my assignment is to make sure he's dead, and I'm going to wait 4 days, and then I'm going back. My brethren, men, when we realize our assignment, God will continuously appoint certain situations and people to come into your life. And you'll understand what that's all about. Because if you don't, You'll start compromising, and compromising will lead to this last chair right here, and that's conflict. And that's where the church is in trouble. We got too many people in this chair right here compromising. And they're upset. They don't know why you got to have Bible class all the time. They don't know why, we got to stay in service all the time. They don't know why, we got to talk about the same thing all the time. And these are the very people that's supposed to be in the military of God with you. Guess what? And in the last 25 years at least, the Lord's church have not consistently, with a sense of urgency, of constancy, have not done any real evangelism in the last 25 years. It has fallen off. You know why? Because most of our problems are on the inside of the church members compromising. That ain't no accident. They've gone from compromising to the fact that they have sat and they're sitting in this chair right now, and they are committing, or they are causing conflict for those who are committed. We shouldn't have to beg folks to come to Bible class, to come to worship service, to come out for a revival. There are more people that's visiting from other congregations that attend the revival that's being hosted. They don't even come out. The host congregation members don't even come out for their own revivals. Compromise, conflict. And this is what we're playing. And it's almost like they're playing musical chairs. Sometimes they're in the chair of compromise, and then sometimes they're in the chair of conflict. Sometimes they're in chairs of conflict, and sometimes they're in the chairs of compromise. What I've learned is just pull the chair out from under them, let they sit their behinds on the floor sometime. Don't give them no seat. No, seriously. Stop giving individuals, I don't even know how I got on this subject right here. This y'all fault now. Stop giving individuals positions of authority when they are not living a life of commitment. I had to, and I'm just going to drop this on y'all right now, then I'm going to get to this slide. I had to tell one of our brothers who's over our worship service, a brother hadn't seen him in a year. Been calling him and talking to him and everything. Just shows up one Sunday and the brother puts him on the Lord's table. I had to go back there and say, take him off. Now, if you can't do it, I'm going to do it. If you can't do it, then I need to move you from where you are sitting in that seat of compromise. You ain't seen this brother in a year, and you know that I've been trying to call him and talk to him and everything, and he won't show up. Now you're going to put him over the table, and you're going to have the sisters growling, looking at me crazy? No, that's not going to happen. Sit him down. Let him sit. Let's see where he is. Is that all right? It's just a matter of understanding. And this is all tied in an indirect way with rumbling, knowing what you're rumbling with and who you're rumbling with. You know, a lot of times we're fighting a lot of phantoms, a lot of figment of our imaginations. You know, a lot of battles that really doesn't need to be fought. You know, it's understanding what the fight game is all about. That's where it starts. You know, and that's a challenge within ourselves because of the human dilemma. But I want to get to this slide because this is very important, these paradigms. Part of the problem, thank you, part of the problem that Satan, and I'm really led by the Spirit, you guys, to do this because I can just kind of shift some things around. But I want to really stimulate your mind a little bit. Part of the problem that we have in this battle is discernment. It's discernment. And the reason why we don't have an acute discernment is because our minds is preoccupied with so many different things. And what we fail to realize is that not only do we need illumination and revelation, the other side of that, where Satan is at work, is that he's trying to, at best, send a delusion in our minds. And whenever you have a delusion, it comes with a illusion. And oftentimes we spend much of the time dealing with the figment of our imagination of what we think we see and what's really in front of us. That be, i.e., as you as a father, as a husband, as a man in general, just in your life, as a person, as a human being. You are a vessel. But Lucifer can really twist your mind up that you won't be able to function like you should function if you're under the delusion and illusion of the devil. And I'm going to show you this, how this thing works in these paradigms here. All right? We all look at the world around us in accordance with a certain paradigm. The paradigm we use depends on what we believe is reliable and what is true. Some of the spiritual illusions that we have in this world is that comfort is not fulfillment. Control is not power. Affection is not love. Do you ever really think about what you're really thinking? How do you perceive it, and why do you perceive it that way? That's really important. Because there's a lot of battles that you don't even have to do anything. Just let whatever's in front of you play out. Let it surface. And anyone that's in leadership know the power of patience. Because oftentimes circumstances that may be on the horizon, can play out in front of you, and usually it may not be nothing but fluff. If you go and involve yourself in the fluff, you just become a product of being fluffed yourself. And look at all the energy you have put into that. But that's part of the devil's illusion. And you got to be very discerning to know how to deal with situations like that, from the church front to the home front to every situation. This is literally just a depiction of what this struggle is all about. Completely. It's a war going on. It's an unseen war that is going on between good and evil, holy and unholy, righteous and unrighteous. It's ongoing. It never ends, never ever ends at all. There are false theories, accurate speculations. Just imagine, try to imagine having the mind to be able to see things for what it really is. The way you can operate from that premise of that's really how it is. You know what? You really are acting like the devil. And you really are ungodly. Now I can move toward doing what I need to do without feeling emotionally involved with whether or not I'm going to hurt your feelings. Because if I hesitate and wait for any amount of time, I could not only jeopardize what's going on that you're doing in your unrighteousness, I could also allow your unrighteousness to permeate the whole house. So you got to get out of my house, son. You got to go. I don't allow this in my house. Mama is saying, you want my baby to leave? No, I want this man to leave. See, I'm not even emotionally attached to the fact that the problem is you still treating him like a baby. So I want this man to leave before your man, if you still want me to be that man, before your man have to hurt the baby that's a man in my eyes physically, you got to go. Y'all understand what I'm saying? That's the difference between false theories and accurate speculation. This is how the devil works. It all depends on what side you are on and how you see it. And I want you to perceive this, y'all. This is the last session. So wake the person next to you up to see this. It all depends, Eric, on what side you're on. If you're on one side, you see what? But if you're on the other side, you see. It all depends on where you are. And that's how life is. And the devil is full aware of this. He knows that how we are made up, that we can see things differently. What do you think the whole temptation with Eve was all about? You know, God said, chapter 3 of Genesis, God said that the day that we eat thereof or even touch it, we shall surely die. You shall not surely die. And what did immortal beings that had never ever experienced death know about dying? Look how shrewd and crafty and subtle the devil is. He's talking to immortal beings who know nothing at this time about mortality, about something that he already knows about, that he knows that she don't know nothing about, and he puts that in front of her. That's the illusion. You shall not surely die. But watch this. For God knows that the day you eat thereof, you shall become, watch this one word, like God. Watch this now, don't miss this. Knowing good and evil. Choice. What does she know about evil? Like God speaks to the fact that you will have the ability to know good and evil, but unlike God, you won't have the ability to discern which one is really good and which one is really evil. Why? Because you are not God. Think about it. You got the ability that God has, knowing good and evil. The illusion is that you think that you can, but you are not God. Satan don't want you to think on that you are not God. Satan wants you to focus on the illusion that you are like God. And so when good and evil comes in front of you, you start thinking that I can. And really what you bought into is a illusion that have convinced you that you can. The delusion is you think you can, but you can't. Oh, y'all gonna see this. What do you see? You see good and evil, but immediately because of our makeup, the illusion is if you first look, you see two birds, but there's only one bird. And no matter how many in here, that if I would say, how many of you all see two birds? If I would phrase this like this, how many of y'all see something that looks like two birds? You would raise your hand. But here's the trick that I would play on you. How many of you all see two birds? Some of your hands will go up, and some of your hands will go down. And now I got you at odds with one another. That's the delusion that I want you to have. I don't want you just knowing that there is only one bird. I want you arguing with the one that thinks he sees two birds. Oh, y'all still missing this. Y'all still missing it. The devil can put the truth in the midst, and it can be obvious. And he knows it, that he can't cover up the truth. But what he does is that he throws in an illusion to not so much cover up the truth, but to get you all arguing about which one is the truth. Is praise team a sin or not a sin? Come on, y'all. Y'all see the illusion? Y'all missing it. You're missing it. So what are we arguing about? Whether or not to eat in the building? Is that praise team a sin or not a sin? Y'all gonna get this. Which side are you all? On my side, there is 3. On your side, there is how many? The objective of Satan is not so much for you to know concisely how many it is. The objective is to get you arguing one another. Look at them. Y'all missing this. The objective is not to cover up the truth per se, but the objective is to get you arguing against your brother or which one is right, because there is an ego that plays in here. I see 3. No, I see 4. So truth really becomes irrelevant. Oh, Lord have mercy. Y'all, come on, y'all. Y'all stay awake. Wake up the person next to you all. What do you see? You see what I'm saying? I can spend... Some of y'all will stay here till 4 o'clock till you know you're right. No, man, It's 4 o'clock. We arguing about some women being in the picture. Now, be honest. Don't perpetrate on me here now. How many of y'all see the old lady and the young lady? Raise your hand. Be honest. How many of y'all don't see it? But I don't see nothing at all up there. Now we mad at you because you can't see nothing. Look hard. Look hard. Look carefully. See, look at y'all. Y'all trying to explain to them. Negro, please, you don't see that? You need some eyeglasses. What's wrong with you? Then this is what frustrated, man. You don't see, that's too bad. Understand, I'm telling you, the objective is to keep your mind in a state of delusion. Or it gets better. Well, we all see this, don't we? Now, how many of y'all really don't see this? Tell the truth. How many of y'all don't see the mouse in the cat? Do y'all see the rabbit? Do you see the duck? It all depends on where you are. Now, you know what's challenging about this? Let me tell you something about illusionists. They are mastered at this because they understand the makeup of the mind. What's crazy about this, and it's just tremendous, is this, that we see things from the standpoint of our experiences that can mar, twist how we really see things that's right in front of us. Yeah. So right now, as you look at this, though this is right in front of you, your experience is standing in front of you doing this. Wherever you are in your life, it's doing this. And what you have to do is move that experience or past prejudice out of the way. And that's with everything. That you can perceive concisely what's really in front of you. But do you know how difficult that is to move prejudice from your eyes, from your mind? that you have become accustomed to, by which you judge things every day? How many horses? This one here gonna mess y'all up. I probably gonna have y'all rumbling here for real. How many horses? It's more than 4. Count them. Come on up here. Who sees 6? Show me 6. Come on up here. Come up here and count them. Come up and count them 6. Count them one by one. Come up and point to them. I want you to come on up. Point to. That's 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no. Come on now. You got to find it. That's 1 over there. That's 5. Now, who see actually 6? You said 6 now. Well, where's the 6th one? Don't be saying, yeah. You say, yeah. That's that masculine voice that'll come out. Yeah. No, you can't count no legs. Who sees 6? Who really sees 6 and point it out real quickly? Who sees 6? That's 1. That's 1. That's still the same 1 now. That's 1. Let's go. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. Who sees 6? You see 6, Al? Do you really see 6? Well, come on up here. Come on up quickly. My time is running out. Come on. I got to give y'all one more before I let you go. That's all right, bro. Now point to him. 1. 1, 2. Yeah, 6. I saw that one. I just wanted to make sure. Go sit down. Both of y'all go sit down. Go sit down. Y'all finna start fighting up in here now. I got something to do here now. Remember, the illusion creates the delusion in your own mind that create issues among each other. The truth is there. He's not. Let me tell you something. Only God is omniscient. Only God is omnipotent. Only God is omnibenevolent. Only God is omnipresent. Lucifer cannot create nothing. Nothing. Nothing at all. But he does create the illusion with lies. And he utilizes our mortality, our physicality to do it. He's not creating anything. He's just putting something there to give you that illusion that you can be delusional in your mind. Because what's your name, bro? He wants Paul. Paul is positive. Paul is on the ball, walking with the Lord. He wants to use you to get Paul rattled up. That's the whole purpose of the illusion, is to create the delusion in you. Because once Paul gets riled up, he's accomplished his objective. Let me give y'all one more, and I'm going to let you guys go. Now, all y'all going to have to cooperate when I get to this one right here. You're going to have to cooperate with this one now. And then I'm going to turn you all loose. Now, when I get to this next one, I believe it's the next one. All right, what I want you to do, I want you to focus in on these 4 dots. Focus in on these 4 dots. Look at these, don't do nothing else. Don't move your eyes right or left. Focus in on those 4 dots for 30 seconds. 30 seconds. You're doing good. You're doing great. Don't take your eyes off of it. You're doing good. We got 15 seconds. You're doing great. Come on. Don't take your eyes off of it. Clear your mind up. Clear your mind up. You got 5 seconds. You're working on it. You're doing great. You're doing fantastic. You're just magnanimous. Don't take your eyes off of it. When I say go, close your eyes and hold your head back on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3, go. Close your eyes and hold your head back. What do you see? You see it? You see Jesus? Yo, you see there? Y'all under that illusion all over again. You think you looking at Jesus. I ain't said nothing about no, I see Jesus. I ain't said, I see Jesus. I didn't look at those dots in Jesus and showed up. Brethren, here's the point. Come on, Horace. Here's the point. Satan's greatest weapons that he uses against us is also God's greatest gift to us, our mind. You've got to have a clear mind to fight and rumble. Because as you can see, just through these pictures, these small trivia pictures that depict different things, you can see how we can just take that and just run with it. But can you imagine how close personal issues and things that come up in the church and come up in our homes and come up with our spouses and come up with our children and come up with members of the church, how things can be disrupted? And we buy into this every single day. That's why the Word of God is so prevalent and imperative for our lives. That way we can see clear in making spiritual decisions for such a time that we live in. We cannot afford to live under the illusion from our delusional mind of thinking that what we see, what's in front of us is really what it is, and really it's not. The only way that you're going to really rumble, the only way you're going to really fight, and fight with a sense to know that you're in the fight, the good fight, is that you got to make sure that you get into that Word of God. That is the difference maker. I'm praying. I'm really praying for you. You pray for me. I'm praying that you come back on tomorrow all day as we continue to share with you the Word of God. God bless you. You've been wonderful. Thank you very much.